Exo or endo? This is a small phrase you're going to be hearing a lot about in science. Many of you are probably wondering what exo and endo actually stand for. Well, allow me to explain. These two terms refer to how much energy is needed to start a reaction happening and how much energy is released once it's finished. If a reaction releases more energy than it took in, then it's an exothermic reaction. If, however, a reaction uses more energy than it gives out, then it's an endothermic reaction. A way to remember this is that exo goes out while endo stays in. Endo and exothermic reactions can also be explained in the form of a diagram. Here we see a potential energy diagram that shows how much energy is used over the course of the reaction. These are the reactants. This shows how much potential energy that the reactants have. Between the two dotted lines we have the activation energy for the reaction. This is how much energy is needed to start the reaction. Now, if the product is above the reactants on the diagram, then this means that the reaction is endothermic and has used more energy than it released, and vice versa, in that if the product is below the reactants, then it is an exothermic reaction and has released more energy than it used. Now, here comes the confusing bit. Although reactants are usually endo or exothermic, technically they're always both. In a reaction, the breaking of bonds is an endothermic process, as it needs energy to rip the atoms apart, like pulling two pieces of Velcro away from each other. But when the new bonds are created, it is exothermic, as the bonding of the atoms releases energy. Well, there's a quick explanation about endo and exothermic reactions for you, and now you know what to say if your teacher asks you what an endo or exothermic reaction is.